Hi,
I'm Mark,
I'm Landon.
and welcome back to another video.
Welcome back. Thank you to all the new subscribers, and thank you to all the comments from our last video.
We made sure to get your questions answered. So this is the second video of the hands-on Nikon demo events that we went to. So Landon went to the first one in the last video. I finally got to go to one of them too. So I finally got to try it out, try the Z9.
Yeah, look at that. You got some new merch, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I've always had this.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, is it too much? This is too much merch? It might be too much.
It might be. Just for this one video.
We figured we'd go all out on the merch fest.
Yeah, for our real talk on the Z9.
I have some thoughts. So my first experience with it was pretty cool. There were not a lot of people, so we got to hold the camera a lot and try it out, ask a ton of questions. The two reps were great. It was Joel
And
what were
Paul.
their names?
Joel and Paul.
Yeah, Joel and Paul. They did a quick little demo, but they knew everybody wanted to just try the camera and get on with it. So, but it was great.
So we got a few questions. One of them was about switching focus modes from 3D tracking and what that looks like with subject detection off. So when you don't have people, animal, vehicles, cars, planes, trains, and bikes, all of the 9 different subjects that the Nikon Z can track. So I turned that all off, and it looks like, just like a 3D tracking box, one of those AF boxes and such. Almost like a small, more accurate version of the subject tracking that we had in the Z6 and Z7 IIs. And the function of it is almost the same. So it looks like a small autofocus area box, like very small. And you put it on whatever subject you want. It doesn't have to be a person. That can just be like an inanimate object if you want. In one of the clips I showed, I tracked the corner of a table.
That's all there was.
Yeah, there wasn't much. I didn't want to track anybody,
Yeah.
any people, so that it was clear that the subject detection was off. And it stuck. It was pretty sticky, and it stuck with the whole corner of the...
Anytime everybody says it was sticky, I think...
Okay, Spidey.
So then they talked about, in the presentation, they talked about how the autofocus works and kind of why the system is better now. And that was, it's not using contrast detection, it's learning the color profile of whatever it's looking at. So if you have like, the example was, he took somebody from the audience. So somebody who was wearing like plaid, then jeans, and then like maybe a black hat. It kind of memorizes the color profile of that, and then he said if something moves in front of the camera that isn't that color profile, that exact profile, it ignores that, so it stays tracked on the whatever color profile it saved. It ignores the color profile if something gets in front of it that isn't what it remembers.
They mentioned it uses color patterns and memorizes the color pattern of the subject specifically for 3D tracking.
Oh, for the 3D, yeah.
So I don't know if that's the same for all the other tracking modes, like auto areas, but it's just specific to 3D tracking where it memorizes the color pattern of the specific subject. So that's where I think that mostly comes in play. And this was all pre-production firmware that we were using on the cameras, so the same thing applied. We couldn't take any photos home with us. They didn't have any memory cards this time in the cameras, so everything was just writing to the buffer, and then once you turn off the camera, that buffer's cleared and you don't have any of that data saved.
So we didn't really get to test out what a video file looks like, but I got to switch it in video mode a few times. People were curious about how the new mode dial is for video to photo, because the trigger is on top, so you slide your thumb back and forth instead. And it actually wasn't that bad. It's the same thing pretty much as now. I do like that the autofocus button isn't in the way anymore when you're hitting it, so your thumb's not rubbing against that. And then it also helps when it's in vertical grip mode. Oh, this is dangerous. Switching it with your thumb instead. I think it's a little easier when it's facing right outside. I liked it.
Yeah.
It's not a huge deal breaker. But the grip felt great. The grip is a lot deeper than this. Its grippy texture was nice. Going back to this one, definitely doesn't feel as nice now.
Yeah, feels like a toy.
And then I didn't think I would like the rubberized dials so much because I really am a fan of the metal one. But I liked it. It's zippy. I think it's easier to go back and forth, just switch things quickly. Feels like the teeth are not as grindy. And the plastic one up front, I always hated that, so good riddance.
Yeah. We also did get to try the glowy buttons on the back. Coming from someone who's never had glowy buttons before, that's definitely going to help me at night during receptions. I like to do, I'm not very good at astrophotography, but I like to try my best. You won't see me post anything because it's probably not that good. There are a few people there that take astrophotography, and Paul, one of the presenters from Nikon, is a big astrophotography guy, and he appreciates having those glowy buttons back, and I like having them too, gotta say.
Yeah, it was easy to do too. Just on setting, and then you toggle it back real quick, and it springs back to light up the buttons. So kind of like your turn signals on a car. It's just a quick little tap, and then it goes off after like 30 seconds or something. The glowiness. I
think you can switch that to always be on though. So if you always want the glowy buttons, you can always have that. We didn't get to find out where that was in the menu system, but I have heard that you can make that a permanent setup. So there were no updates on the delivery status. The Nikon guy I talked to, he just kept saying before the end of the year, and that's this year, and an update on when we can get the manual for the Z9 is also when the shipping date starts. So a little bit about those shipping dates. I've heard from B&H, and I'm also, you can see on the website that it says December 15th shipping for B&H, at least in the US. The guy said that, B&H just kind of pulled that out of the thin air. But I've also heard from Australia that they're expecting some shipments of the Z9 on the 24th of December. So with that, whenever shipping starts, that's when we can start downloading the manual for the Z9. So it's going to be between the 15th and the 24th. I know that's not a very good answer, but it's going to be somewhere between there. It might be the 15th or it might be a little bit later, but that's what we got. And it's only a 9-day period, and we're pretty close to the 15th. So we'll probably know soon whether we can download that manual or not. Hey everybody, so while I was editing, I got an email from Paul's Photo in Torrance, California, letting us know what the latest shipping updates are. So here I have the FTZ2 adapter is shipping out this week, and then the 100 to 400 millimeter lens is shipping out, rumored to be shipping out the next week, so that's the week of the 13th. And then after that, the Z9s, the first batch of those bad boys will be shipping out the week after that, so that's the week of the 20th. So those are the latest rumors that we have. Mark and I will definitely keep you guys updated on anything else that comes up, but hopefully this is good news, and at least it's news. So hopefully we'll be getting our Z9s soon. But we also got a few questions about how heavy the Z9 was with the 51.2 millimeter lens. And it still feels really good. I still have to say that it feels a lot better than holding the 50mm 1.2 with one of these smaller bodies. It's just having that extra leverage, I don't know what it is, on the Z9, having that thicker grip, a deeper grip on the hand, more of your palm is holding onto that body, and you also have more leverage with it, I feel like, since you can get more skin onto that grip of the Z9. I just felt like holding the 50mm 1.2 with that body just felt so good, and a lot better than having it with one of these. And I always shoot with these with a 50mm 1.2 throughout a wedding day, and that's anywhere from 5 hours to 8 hours of just non-stop hand holding and shooting photos. So I imagine, and I'm able to do that with this camera, so I imagine it's going to be easier with the Z9.
And then for video stuff, I liked the vertical grip for doing vertical videos, because with Instagram and TikTok and like YouTube Shorts now, you have to do more vertical videos, which is annoying to have to do both. But yeah, so that vertical grip is so much easier to hold the camera for video, especially instead of, you know, going like this and trying to tuck your arms in and keep it steady because the camera just wants to swing down. But having it on the side, you can easily keep your palm from controlling the tilt. So that's a lot nicer. The only thing I'm worried about is when you have, it depends on how the Z9 cages, the third-party cages come out. You have the mode dial selector thing, and to unlock it, to twist it, the button is in here. So on my cage, it would be blocked, that's kind of going to be annoying. But so hopefully the camera cages still give you plenty of access to all the buttons. I didn't mind I did like the tilting screen too, though. That was awesome. And it feels, I don't know, it feels a lot more robust than the Z6 one does. And it is handy that it can tilt up when you're holding it low. Even when you're like low and angled up, to be able to tilt the screen just to see it. That was nice.
Yeah, about the tilting screen, I've heard of people anecdotally saying that they've seen the Nikon Reps holding the camera and lens by the screen and swinging it around. I didn't see that until this last demo, where one of the guys actually fully extended the screen, and he held it by the screen and just kind of swung it around, rotated it with, you know, lens and body hanging down.
At the one I went to?
Yeah, the one you and I went to.
Oh, I missed that.
He showed up a little bit late, so.
Oh, got it.
So this was before the presentation, but I got to see it, and you know, I was surprised. I'm not going to do that with my body, with my camera, my unit of it, because I only have one.
I'll try it once. Why not?
Not with mine.
Dangle it from a drone. Yeah, so video feels a lot more stable. Because it's easier to grip and you have more control over it, you might not even need a cage or anything like that, any extra handles, unless you want to add a bunch of gear, accessories on top and everything. But it felt pretty good. Like I could tell I would be able to move the camera pretty smoothly on my own without having a cage and stuff like that, and extra weight just because the grip is a lot easier and the balance feels really good.
Mm-hmm. An interesting thing that the Nikon Rep said, somebody asked about pairing an Atomos with the Z9, and you can totally do that. It's totally capable of doing that. At that point, you're just using it as a monitor, but so far the Z9 doesn't support raw output with the Atomos out.
But the update is going to be, you're going to be able to do 8K ProRes RAW internally. Mm-hmm. With the firmware update that they already announced for it. So that's really cool. So being able to do 8K video in a Nikon body, that's awesome. Then you don't even need a red camera anymore. Don't even really need the ARRI.
No Komodo.
Yeah, so I mean that's exciting to be able to do 8K stuff. So once Landon gets his, I'm going to commandeer it for maybe a week and try some narrative film stuff.
I'm going to be sleeping with that body.
Oh, whatever.
So good luck getting it away from me.
But it'll be cool. And then just to be able to put it on some like jibs and stuff like that, some sliders.
And then there's also some updates for me. When I was at my first demo, I didn't get a chance to try the function buttons on the Z9. Oh, yeah. When I was at the second demo, though, I did make a point of trying to do it and trying to reach everything. I think it's going to be an adjustment for me because my hand and my muscle memory isn't used to that. I'm used to the Z6 and Z7 setup where you have the two function buttons, and these ones, they feel really nice. The buttons on the Z9, where those front functions are, they felt a little smaller, a little more like my fingers had to hunt around to where it was. And it was actually feels weird having one for my pinky in the horizontal position. But
so you want less options?
No, I don't. I'm happy to have all the options. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy to have all the options. I'm just saying it's gonna take a second for my mind to regroup and kind of to retrain my muscle memory, which training muscle memory with a Nikon isn't as bad as training your muscle memory with another body camera from another brand. So
I like them better than these ones though, because these ones they're a little toggly, so I can never tell if I actually pressed it. So because they wiggle, obviously, but I like that the Z9 is actually just a circle button, so you know, oh, I definitely pressed it. I'm definitely holding it.
Yeah.
It's triggering what it's supposed to be. So I like that better. I also don't use them that often, so what do I know? I just use record. Which the record button was in a nice place.
Yeah.
Funny enough, though, when you go to the vertical grip, the record button isn't red anymore. So there's just a tiny little button, but it also works as the default is the record button.
Yeah.
But it's also custom. I get it. Yeah. But it would be nice to, I don't know, have a teeny tiny red dot or something just to. This is being picky, but once you get the camera, you're not gonna be like, oh, where'd the record button go? You're gonna know. So.
Yeah. What he's really saying is he wants a cinema camera from Nikon with all the different red tally lights.
Give me the lenses. We did get to try, because I was curious, I did want to try the 14 to 24 lens, so I tried that on Landon. No, I did try, what did I try that on?
You tried it on the Z9?
I did try it on the Z9. That was pretty cool. I think I might need to reevaluate what I thought I would be able to do with a 14 to 24, because I was hoping to use it for some cinematic stuff, but it's definitely more for landscape. But we also got to try the Macro 105, which is how we got the shots of the thumbnail for this video. It was awesome. It was way lighter than I thought it would be. Landon got to try it. I didn't really get to look because he didn't want to share. No. Selfish.
Sorry, not sorry. But I really like that lens. It's so nice to manually focus. Like all the primes that Nikon has, well, the 1.2, the S line primes, I should say, the manual focus on them is very nice. It's very tactile. That's part of the reason why I like using those lenses.
Yeah, full disclosure though, he did take forever to find focus and like figure it out, because I had to stand there holding the camera like this for forever. I was like, are you done with the picture yet? Are you done with the picture yet? Yeah. So the focus is a tiny bit slow on the 105, like we heard. Yeah, and then I also asked if any news on the 85 1.2 rumored, but no, sadly no, because I just want to up Landon because he's got the 50. I was like, I don't need the 50, I need the 85.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll probably get that one next.
Keep pulling out.
I know, because that one would look so nice for close up video, especially for movies and stuff.
Yeah, that compression.
Yeah. Got an ugly background. Get rid of it.
Just blow it out.
I don't have a set dresser. I got an 85 mil lens.
You don't need one.
I think that's it though. I think we covered pretty much everybody's questions that we had. We had some of our own too that we got to ask. The presentation was awesome. They showed some shots of a bird in flight, like really, really sharp photos. And just tracking the bird flying everywhere. That was cool.
Yeah.
Really close to the ground, the water, a lot of reflections. So that was a neat shot. So sounds like the autofocus is much improved and as speedy as anybody would ever want it to be, I hope.
Okay, and one quick thing about the NPS memberships. So I talked to the Nikon guys. They said that NPS members do get priority because they want to support their pros. And we're just reporting on that. We're just talking about it. And I don't know how that works if you are a non-member, but you've also put a deposit down. And so regarding that, I think it depends on what third party you're working with and what camera store you put your pre-order in with. Because coming straight from Nikon's website, they say that the NPS priority is just a recommendation. They can't force the third parties to do anything. So if you have money down on a pre-order and you're not a member, you might get priority over those NPS members because you already have money down. So
then it probably goes in order.
Yeah, and in those cases, I think you're gonna have to ask your third-party camera store or wherever you put your pre-order in.
Amazon.
But I hope you did put an order with a local store because it looks like those pre-orders are far less than what you might have from B&H, Adorama, Allen's Camera even, I think, and Amazon. So I put my pre-order in at a smaller camera store here in San Diego.
Which one?
Nelson's.
Oh, but the event was at George's.
Sorry, George's.
You missed the free CF Express card.
I know, but I have a gift card from Nelson's, so I'm gonna use that towards the Z9. Only time will tell. We'll see. I still don't think I'm gonna be part of the first batch of people that gets a Z9, just by the sheer number of people who have pre-ordered.
You took too long.
Yeah, that too.
That reminded me though, the CF Express thing. What was it he said that they don't recommend using one card because its writing speed is too slow, but it will work? Was that the XQD? Or
Yeah, that's the XQD. So they don't recommend you use an XQD card. It is compatible with an XQD card in the Z9, but the write speeds of the XQD are around 400 write speeds to the card, whereas the ones that they were testing, the Pro grade Cobalt and the Delkin Black ones, their sustained write speeds are around 1400, and that's what you want to unlock all those capabilities of the Z9 with all the buffers, the 8K, the 4K 120, everything like that. So you can still use the XQD, but it's not recommended.
Especially for video, now that it's basically unlocked. There's no time limit now. Yeah. So you want a card that can just keep writing and keep writing. Because what was the longest he did? I think it was 2 hours at 8K. Yikes, that's a big file. But yeah, it was around 2 hours. It might have been a tiny bit more, but definitely longer than 29 minutes and 59 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, the Camera Max is out at 2 hours and 5 minutes. So you can definitely get more than 2 hours.
Yeah.
All right, thanks everybody for tuning in and watching our last videos. And thank you to all the new subscribers and all the comments. We really appreciate it. And
it's really us answering them.
It really is, yeah. It's either Mark or me.
Yeah.
I don't know if it helps if we clarify who's answering them or who's not, but we're a joint team, so we're both answering those comments.
We use the overarching we. But if you want more specifics, we can always say, signed by Mark.
Yeah, let us know. If you get your Z9 soon, we'd love to hear your thoughts on it. You might beat us to the punch, but we still want to hear from you what you think of it and what you might not like about it, but definitely how you feel.
It's perfect. No camera's gonna be perfect, but This one seems pretty awesome.
Pretty close for us.
Not gonna lie, they almost convinced me.
Everybody, thank you again. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
But no pre-order yet for me. I'll wait.
Yeah. You can rent mine out.
Wow. Okay.
All right.